Good morning, church family. Today we continue in the story of the death of Lazarus. Up until this point, we see that Jesus gets informed that Lazarus is sick and dying, and we see Jesus chooses to wait before heading to Judea till after Lazarus has died. And so we pick up now with him heading to Judea and him arriving there, and then him encountering Mary and Martha. I would consider it safe to assume that most of us have encountered the loss of someone we cared for, or at least know someone who has encountered loss of a loved one. Oftentimes when this loss occurs, people swarm to try and comfort the people who experience the loss, but they don't always have the words to say. At times, people can jump in and say the same cliche phrases, trying to encourage, but at times they can fail to truly comfort the people facing the loss. On the other end, I bet many of us have experienced a case where we knew someone who encountered loss, but we didn't quite know the words to say. We wanted to help them, we wanted to encourage them, we wanted to enter their pain, but we wanted to tread lightly and made sure that the words we had to say were truly beneficial, and we kind of found ourselves at a loss for words, at a loss for what to say. That is what makes what is revealed in this passage, and that revealed about the comforting character of Jesus, so comforting. We see that Jesus encounters Mary and Martha separately, and he knows how to specifically speak life into them as they both mourn. We see Martha runs out to Jesus first. Mary stays behind, and Martha comes to him. In Martha, in verse 21, she says, Martha then said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." And we see she begins to kind of just kind of proclaim this to him. And we see Jesus' response is revealing truth to her. He first responds with, in verse 23, "Your brother will rise again." And then she kind of says, "Yeah, I know he'll rise again in the last times, the end times." But Jesus then continues to reveal more of himself. He says, "I'm the resurrection and the life. Who believes in me will live, and even if he dies, and everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" So we see that in the case of Martha, Jesus chooses to comfort her by revealing truth, by revealing more of himself to her. That was his response to Martha. She came to him proclaiming that you could have saved my brother. I trust you now. And he comforts her by revealing the truth of who he is. He says, "This is who I am, Martha. Do you believe that?" And that's how he chooses to calm her uniquely. He knew what she needed to hear. And then we see Mary. We see eventually Martha comes back. She tells Mary where Jesus is, and Mary comes out to Jesus and has a very honest gut reaction at the start. In verse 32, "Therefore, when Mary came where Jesus was, she saw him and fell at his feet, saying, 'Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died.'" She's just honest with him. And we see in contrast to how he responded to Martha, he doesn't give her answers. He doesn't choose to reveal more of his character. He doesn't choose to reveal truth to her and tell her these things. He instead simply asks where Lazarus is buried, goes there with her, and weeps with her. He was just present. He just hurts alongside her and comforts her through his presence and through his sharing in her sorrow. We see Jesus knew he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead, but that doesn't mean he didn't hurt at the death of Lazarus. We see he's not an emotionally disconnected God. He didn't come in stoic and just like, yeah, whatever, he died. He instead comes hurting because he loved Lazarus and he loves Mary and Martha, and he knows the pain that they're experiencing. He came as a sympathetic Christ, wanting to encourage them both uniquely in their trial. And it brings to mind Hebrews 4:14 through 16, which reads, "Since then we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God. Let us hold fast our confession. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in a time of need." We have a Savior who lived fully God, but also fully man, who faced the loss of someone he cared for, who faced the mourning, the pain, the sorrow. He faced the struggles of growing up. He faced the struggles of temptation. The trials and struggles and battles of the human life are not foreign to him. He was tempted yet did not sin. He encountered loss and sorrow, but yet did not sin and cave to them. What a cool profession that the high priest, the one that represents me before God and who extends grace to me, is one that can also sympathize with my pain and who can be a perfect comforter, knowing how to best speak life into me and show me love. The pain I go through, the weight of temptation, the weight of loss, is not something disconnected from him that he can't understand. He was perfect through it all, but he can still sympathize with me and love me through it. May we all draw near to the truth of these passages, that in the pain and temptation that we face, we can know that Jesus has gone through the pain of this life and conquered it, and he can be our perfect comforter through it all. As we face trial and as our anxieties overwhelm us, may we remember the comfort we can find in Jesus and the grace he allows us to experience. Jesus knew how to best comfort Mary and Martha in their hurt. He knows our hurt, and he knows how to best comfort us too. Are we seeking to enter into that comfort we can find in the person of Jesus Christ?